Good morning. Welcome to Grace and this Youthful Sunday. Please join me in prayer. Let us worship our God of love. Let us worship with open hearts and minds. Let us worship God who wants us to love our neighbors as ourselves, the one who is weak and the one who is strong, the one who is happy or sad, those who are confused and those who seem to understand, those with whom we can relate and those with whom we cannot, the one who is embraced and the one who is shunned, the one who is like us and the one who is different, those who are easy to love and those who are not. Let us worship God who desires our love. Let us worship God despite our struggles and limitations. Let us seek the Lord. Let us seek the true foundation of agape love in our lives.
Just one word, you call the storm that surrounds me. Just one word, the darkness has to retreat. Just one touch, I feel the presence of heaven. Just one touch, my eyes were open to see, and I believe there's nothing better God can do. There's not a mountain that He can move. We'll praise the name that makes the way. There's nothing better God can do. Just one word, you heal what's broken inside me. Just one word, and you revive every dream. Just one touch, I feel the power of heaven. Just one touch, my eyes were open to see, and I believe there's nothing better God can do. There's not a mountain that He can move. We'll praise the name that makes the way. There's nothing better God can do. There's nothing better God can do. It's not a prison wall He can't break through. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing better God can do. And I believe. And I believe. There's nothing better God can do. There's not a mountain that He can move. Oh, praise the name that makes the way. There's nothing better God can do. There's nothing better God can do. It's not a prison wall He can't break through. Oh, praise the name that makes the way. There's nothing better God can do.
The gospel reading today is from John 21, 1 through 19. After these things, Jesus showed himself again to the disciples by the Sea of Tiberias, and he showed himself in this way. Gathered there together were Simon Peter, Thomas, called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others of his disciples. Simon Peter said to them, "I am going fishing." They said to him, "We will go with you." They went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Just after daybreak, Jesus stood on the beach, but the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to them, "Children, you have no fish, have you?" They answered him, "No." He said to them, "Cast the net to the right side of the boat, and you will find some." So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because there were so many fish. That disciple, whom Jesus loved, said to Peter, "It is the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on some clothes, for he was naked, and jumped into the sea. But the other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from the land, only about 100 yards off. When they had gone ashore, they saw a charcoal fire there, with fish on it and bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish that you have just caught." So Simon Peter went aboard and hauled the net ashore, full of large fish, 153 of them. And though there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." Now none of the disciples dared ask him, "Who are you?" because they knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. This was now the 3rd time that Jesus appeared to the disciples after he was raised from the dead. When they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" And he said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my lambs." A 2nd time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Tend my sheep." He said to him the 3rd time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter felt hurt because he said to him the 3rd time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep. Very truly, I tell you, when you were younger, you used to fasten your own belt and to go wherever you wished. But when you grow old, you will stretch out your hands, and someone else will fasten a belt around you and take you where you do not wish to go." He said this to indicate the kind of death by which he would glorify God. After this, he said to him, "Follow me." Feed my sheep. If you love me, feed my sheep. Now, I know I often stand up here and passionately talk about refugee resettlement, but today I'm here to talk to you about something else I am deeply passionate about: the lives of our young people and how our whole congregation plays a vital role in raising up lifelong followers of Jesus. When Jesus said, "Feed my sheep," he invited us into the sacred work of caring for his people, and especially on this Youthful Sunday, the sacred work of caring for the next generation. Feed my sheep. Jesus is trusting us to answer that call with love and empathy and a sense of urgency, because they need us. They need you. In the youth ministry here at Grace, we've been learning a lot from the research-backed insights of Fuller Youth Institute. Several of our youth leaders had the opportunity to attend a 2-day workshop led by Fuller, and since then, we've been diving deeper, reading their books, taking their courses, and actively applying their approaches to better serve our young people. Their work has given us a deeper understanding of what today's young people are really facing and how we as a church can respond in real, relational, and relevant ways. What we've learned is that now, more than ever, young people are navigating a rapidly changing world while trying to figure out who they are, where they fit, and what difference they can make. Their journey toward adulthood is full of questions about identity, belonging, and purpose. Questions they face constantly as they make decisions, take risks, and grow in faith. Even positive steps, like joining a team, getting a job, or applying for college, come with emotional weight and instability. At the same time, many young people face deeper challenges shaped by broader societal pressures, mental health struggles, unrealistic expectations, social inequities, and the constant influence of digital culture. In this complex world, they need more than just programs. They need adults who consistently show up, support them, and walk alongside them as they seek to root their identity, belonging, and purpose in something lasting. And when we show up, we help them discover that their truest answers to these questions are found in the person and way of Jesus. Now, as an older millennial, I've had more than my fair share of label stereotypes. Born between 1981 and 1996, we millennials have been called lazy, entitled, accused of setting too many boundaries and clinging too tightly to our love of skinny jeans. Now, a generation stands before us, post-millennials, often referred to as Gen Z, and the incoming Gen Alpha. No individual, let alone an entire generation, can be reduced to just a few adjectives. But through Fuller's research and my own experiences walking alongside today's young people, one thing is clear. Young people are not the same as they were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or even last year. They're not ones to cling to skinny jeans or any trend for too long, because the pace of change in our world today is staggering. Technology, culture, and language are constantly evolving, and the young people you know are navigating these shifts daily. To better understand what that means for this generation, I want to focus on 3 defining words that help capture who they are today. Number 1, they're anxious, and so are we. More than ever, young people today are anxious. Rising rates of stress, depression, and even suicide reflect a deeper crisis. And it's not just a youth problem, it's a human problem. Only now it's showing up earlier than ever. And they're navigating a perfect storm. The pressure of social media and academic demands, climate anxiety and financial insecurity, a constant stream of bad news, and the long shadow of a global pandemic. And the numbers speak volumes. 6 in 10 Gen Zers say the pandemic negatively impacted their lives. 79% of teens report feeling lonely. 57% of teen girls and 69% of LGBTQ+ teens feel persistently sad or hopeless. 60% of all young people say adults don't understand how much they're struggling. Their world is loud, fast, and fragile. And if we're honest, we feel it too. Number 2, they're adaptive. Let's learn from them. The pandemic hasn't just been a source of anxiety, it's become this generation's defining moment. Born post 9/11 and raised in the shadow of economic recession and school tragedies like Sandy Hook, Parkland, and Uvalde, today's young people are coming of age in a world marked by crisis, and in a country wrestling with racial tension and political division. This is also the smartphone generation, shaped by touchscreen technology and an app-driven culture. 95% of US teens have access to a smartphone, and nearly half say they are online almost constantly. Gen Z has known a world where connectivity is constant and the digital space is embedded in daily life. This brings an ever-changing array of platforms, tools, and online communities. And here's the hopeful truth. Despite what they're up against, or maybe because of it, Gen Z is incredibly adaptive. They're not just surviving, they're innovating. They're not waiting for permission, they're taking action. They're hungry to lead, to make a difference, to be part of something bigger. And this isn't something to fear, it's something to fan into flame. And number 3, they're diverse, and that's a gift. This generation of young people is the most diverse generation in history, in their ethnicity, culture, socioeconomic status, gender identity, values, and worldview. Locally, just down the road at Federal Way High School, we see a more diverse landscape than the US averages. The total minority enrollment is 85%, with 40% of those being Hispanic or Latino. 20% of students are English language learners, and 75% of students are living in poverty or low-income households. Additionally, young people are growing up in a shifting social landscape regarding sexual and gender identity. The young people in our midst bring a rich mix of perspectives and experiences. They're asking hard questions, challenging assumptions, and pushing beyond surface level to lean into deeper conversations. This generation is reshaping what the church looks like, and that's not something to resist, it's something to celebrate. If we truly want to reach them, we must reflect the diversity of the kingdom. Jesus' church was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be transformational, radically inclusive, deeply connected, and powerfully alive. So, what do we do with these anxious, adaptive, diverse young people? We lead them, but maybe not in the way we're used to thinking about leadership. Fuller Youth opened our eyes to a new type of leadership for young people, keychain leadership. Now, when I was 22, I was lost in life. I had just gotten out of a long, bad relationship, moved back in with my parents, and had lost a sense of who I was, where I fit, and what I wanted to do. I was asking the deep questions of identity, belonging, and purpose. The youth director at Grace at the time asked me to come and help lead worship at camp. I ended up also helping him plan camp sessions, and after camp, he asked me to be the summer camp coordinator, where I was supposed to help him and the intern plan camp games. But then he encouraged me to help with the theme, the decor, the sessions, the music, basically all of camp, although I'm not sure they could have stopped me as my passion was becoming evident. Shortly after, I was asked to be on staff at Grace as the youth ministry coordinator and handed the keys to the church. This is quite literally keychain leadership. Keychain leadership is rooted in a simple but powerful question: who holds the keys? In the church context, keys represent access, authority, and the ability to empower others. Keychain leaders are those who not only recognize the keys they hold to your quilting ministry, tech team, children's ministry, community dinners ministry, Grace in Action ministry, usher or welcome ministry, the food bank, choir, band, finance team, the board, but who also intentionally share them with the next generation. And this isn't about token youth involvement, plugging them into roles when we have a spot to fill. Because I know there are many ministry leaders thinking about where you need help and where you could plug in a youth. But it's about being in relationship with young people and finding out what they're passionate about and want to do, and leading in a way that says, you belong here, you're trusted, you're needed, your input is valued. Now we see a powerful example of this in John 21, where Jesus meets the disciples after his resurrection. They've returned to fishing, disoriented, maybe discouraged, and unsure of what's next. And after a fruitless night, Jesus appears on the shore with an invitation and a meal. He feeds them. He restores Peter and recommissions him with 3 questions. Do you love me? Then feed my sheep. In that moment, Jesus models keychain leadership. Jesus invites Peter to enter into the work of helping to feed the sheep. He hands Peter the keys, not because Peter was perfect, but because he was loved, forgiven, and ready to lead. Jesus embodies the kind of leadership that empowers, relational, restorative, and full of trust. Jesus reminds Peter that despite his past failure, there is still work to be done. He's telling Peter, I choose you. I'm giving you the keys, and you have what it takes. Go for it. Keychain leaders follow this example. They empower young people while also equipping and walking alongside them. There will be mistakes and missed alarm codes, literally and metaphorically. But when we commit to letting young people try, lead, fail, and try again, we shape not just better programs, but better disciples. And it often takes more time, more trust, and more relationship. But the fruit is worth it. This kind of leadership is exactly what young people today are asking for. They don't want to sit in the back row, even when they have a good time back there. They want to co-create, contribute, and lead with purpose. And when they find adults who, like Jesus, invite them to the table, hand them the keys, and say, "Let's do this together," they rise to the occasion. Just like Peter, they may start from a place of uncertainty, but with grace and guidance, they become bold leaders who will feed and lead the church into the future. If we're willing to take the time to listen to what they are interested in leading and invest in them. But this is more than just growing future leaders of the church. The young people in our midst are not just the future of the church. They are the church right now. Their faith journey is filled with questions, challenges, and transitions. And as leaders, parents, mentors, adults in this congregation, we are called to walk alongside them. Raising up lifelong followers of Jesus is not the responsibility of Pastor Salvador, the youth leaders, or the youth program. It is the responsibility of the whole church, each and every one of you. And let me tell you why. The 5-to-1 ratio. The core idea is simple. Young people thrive when they have 5 adults beyond their parents intentionally invested in their lives. These are adults who know their story, understand their hearts, cheer them on, and provide a safe, supportive presence. When young people have this kind of support, they're more likely to experience a sense of true belonging, feel accepted as they navigate their identity, and are encouraged as they discover their purpose. They're also more likely to carry their faith with them into adulthood. Just imagine 5 trusted adults regularly speaking into your child's life, saying things like, "How was your game? How did that test go? Can I sit with you?" Or simply, "Hey, just wanted to say you're awesome." Jesus understood the importance of deep, authentic, loving relationships. He walked alongside his disciples. He shared meals with them. He listened without judgment. He enjoyed their fellowship. He was intentional with his presence, which grew trust and sincerity among his friends. He put in the effort to know them and be known by them. Authentic intergenerational relationships are transformational, and not just for the young person. Having a deep relationship with a Gen Zer will require you to listen more and talk less. Oh, how desperately you'll want to share your advice with a young person the first time they come to you with a problem. But we are called to enter into these relationships with empathy, to just sit on the curb with them, to journey with them without judgment, listening, and replacing the phrase, "Well, when I was your age," with "Tell me more, tell me more." And when I started as a youth in the youth program here at Grace, which would have been 5th grade summer camp, I was struggling significantly with anxiety and panic disorder. And if it wasn't for the adult leaders at camp who cared for me and made me feel safe and comforted, I would have been too fearful to be engaged in the program. And when I was in junior high, if it wasn't for adult leaders showing me the importance of deep friendships and a relationship with Jesus, reading the Bible and prayer, church would have been just about the boys. And if it wasn't for the adults in this church who walked with me through high school and the summer mission trips, exposing me to the importance of serving others, I would lead a much more self-focused life, pursuing success and wealth, rather than living with the belief that a fulfilling life is living a life in service to others. It was this entire congregation, this whole church, that made me into a lifelong follower of Jesus. And I am so deeply grateful for this church and the youth program who put so many caring adults into my life, some of whom I'm sure are watching this today. So what now? If you're thinking, I don't know how to connect with teenagers, or I'm not cool enough or young enough. Let me encourage you. The most powerful gift you can give a young person is your time, your understanding, and your faithfulness. You don't have to lead a youth group or go to camp or post on TikTok. You just have to be willing to pray, willing to listen, willing to show up again and again. It's as easy as a, "What's up? How's it going? I'm happy you're here." Acknowledging and interacting with the young people around us. Jesus' call to Peter in John 21 echoes to us today. Feed my lambs, take care of my sheep, feed my sheep. This is not a suggestion, it's a mission. It's not reserved for the young, the cool, or the qualified. It's for everyone who loves Jesus. And this is not the job of a few, it's the calling of the church. So let's step into the mess, the questions, the anxiety, and the unknowns, because that's exactly where Jesus is. Let's feed his sheep. Let's love his lambs. Let's be a church where young people don't just feel tolerated, but seen, valued, and supported as they seek their identity, belonging, and purpose. Let's commit together to walk with the next generation into the life-changing love of Jesus Christ. Because when the whole church walks together, lifelong followers of Jesus are not only possible, they're inevitable. Amen.
Great is your faithfulness, O God. You wrestle with the sinner's heart. You lead us by still waters into mercy. And nothing can keep us apart. So remember your people, remember your children, remember your promise, oh God. Your grace is enough. Your grace is enough.
Please join me for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Save us from the time of trial and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. And the benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. The Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace. Amen. Go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.